Hey, welcome to the channel. Today, I want to talk to you guys about my journey in the furniture industry. I'm by no means an interior designer. I'm by no means a furniture expert, but I sure been around the block. So I wanted to share my thoughts, my experience with all these companies that you've seen in the thumbnail and in the description or in the title, because sofas are so expensive. I don't know why people don't make more videos about sofas, particularly sofa companies in the UK. Hopefully this video will do that justice. And if you guys have a particular company you want me to dive into in terms of what was my experience, then obviously comment below. I hope this video will do some justice and it will answer some of your questions. And so here we go. I'm going to start my journey. I'm going to start the journey from when I first moved into this house. I've been living in this house for a long time, and I have changed things around about 3-4 times. Let's say 4 times. I think I have a problem when it comes to redoing my house. I always want to redo my house, and I always have ideas on how to make my space feel new again. I get bored very easily, and so the way I spice things up, is to redo the whole house. Anyway, we start from the beginning. When I moved here, I was broke. It was unexpected. I didn't plan anything. I didn't have any money. So, I had some, but not much. When I moved in, I had no bed. I had nothing, right? So I looked to the cheapest place, which I thought at the time was eBay. So basically, I'm trying to say the first furniture shop I ever did was on eBay. And I'm mentioning eBay because actually eBay has a lot of craftsmen who, I don't know if it's like small shops or just local shops or whatever it may be, but they make sofas and they're really cheap at the time anyway. And they were actually, the sofa I got was a corner sofa. I will insert images and videos of what I find because of course it's been a long time. That sofa was fine. I was super happy with it. It was the first sofa I ever bought in my life, and I bought it for £600. It was amazing. It was a corner sofa, Chesterfield arms. The fabric was soft. It had like 8 cushions, assorted cushions, and it was honestly perfection. And I mean, now I know what I know. I can see the difference between a £600 sofa and a £2,000 sofa. Because yeah, we've been that far too, but we'll get to that. If you are on a budget and you are not sure, I mean, I'm trying to measure my words because I appreciate things have changed. Materials have become more expensive, which likely means people are cutting corners more. So maybe the quality I would have got 6 years ago is different to the quality I would get now. But I say this to say though, still check out eBay because there are small shops, local shops that sell good stuff, and it's handmade stuff. So it's really good. The other one that's sort of similar to eBay is Etsy, but Etsy, their prices, I do understand why they're so expensive. They're so expensive because Etsy takes so much money from a sale. I remember I sold stuff on Etsy. I sold plants on Etsy. They take so much percentage. So people hike up the price to make up what they're going to lose on the platform. But anyway, go on eBay, check it out if you're on a budget. That's basically my number one. That's where I started, and I had a great experience. So great that by the time I was done with the sofa, which was 2 years later, I wanted to redo my house. I advertised it back on eBay secondhand, and I sold it for £500. So I lost £100 in 2 years. So that for me, because that just goes to show how well the sofa still was. It was very good looking. It was a very classic, clean looking sofa. It was beige. So of course you need to keep in mind the style that you buy. Keep it classic if you have in mind to resell it. Keep it classic or really bold or really unique so that you can easily resell it at a decent price. I was not expecting to get £500 honestly, but they bid that far. So, who am I to say no? Moving on to number 2 because I'm rambling. My house is an L shape and it kind of shares the living room with the kitchen, so it's like big but small. So anyway, we got bored basically, and we had ideas, and I wanted to split my living room into 2, so one really bright side and then one really muted classic side. And so this is where you see the whole grey Chesterfield. I have a thing for Chesterfield. Grey Chesterfield but round. When I saw this sofa, I fell in love. So that sofa is from myfurniture.com, the round Chesterfield. Now, okay, since we're speaking about experiences, Number one, the most disappointing thing about my experience buying this sofa from myfurniture.com is they used a guy with a van to deliver it. Now, I'm sorry, if I'm spending £800 on a sofa, on a love seat, and then you're giving it to some Bob who's going to deliver it in a van, the guy didn't want to. He wanted to leave it on the pavement. He didn't want to bring it into the flat building. He didn't even come upstairs. I had to get my boyfriend at the time to bring it up for me. I had to wait for him to finish work, come back, and then he had to bring it up the stairs. Yes, it couldn't fit into the lift, but the guy didn't even try to bring it into the corridor. He didn't even try. So I was really disappointed by the company that they used to deliver. That's a big shame. You know, don't shoot me if it's been different for you, but do share your experience down below, because that's very interesting it'll be very interesting to hear how it's been for you. That's the only thing that was very disappointing. But when I was on their website selecting, they were really they were available to chat, they could talk to you on WhatsApp call. I inquired about the same sofa in a blush pink, because that's my favorite color, in a blush pink, but of course it's going to be more money and it was going to take longer for it to be delivered. And I was just like, it's not that deep, Pauline, calm down. So we just got the grey. The grey was a classic. They have other colors, but this one, I think, spoke to me. It was, for what I had in mind, it was the color I went for. Overall, the comfort of the sofa was, it's a Chesterfield sofa. You're not going to sink in. It's very stiff. I say that. I will say that because there's no other way of putting it. It's very stiff. The thing about it is you pad it up with loads of blankets, loads of cushions, and you can stretch your legs, and it just looks super cool. So I wouldn't say I think this is not as comfortable as my eBay sofa. I will say that. I'll say that. Do I still love it? Yes. Do I love it more than my eBay sofa? I think I love them just the same, because they serve a different purpose. They bring a different vibe altogether. The eBay sofa was super comfortable. The only bad thing about it was that this is where you can tell when something is cheap. The back was covered by cushion, so if you accidentally jumped on the sofa and you hit the part without a cushion, you were finished. It was so painful. It was very painful. So the wood is exposed at the back, and I think that just wouldn't happen, or the wood would be padded with something so that it's not a health and safety hazard. But anyway, we move on. Be careful though to not fill your whole house with stuff from their shop, because I find it very, it can be tacky if you don't place it. It's because the items are very loud or very statementy. It's like you need to put it as, just on the corner and then surround it with quite muted or simple things. I say that, I plonked a yellow sofa next to it. Anyway, do what you want in your house, do what you want. But I, right next to it, put a yellow sofa from Furniture123.com. And that's the next shop on my list, the third shop on my list. Now, Furniture123, they are part of Appliances Direct. They're part of a group that sells pretty much everything, it seems. And what can I say? They always have sales. They're quite cheap, really well priced stuff. Their reviews, read those reviews because they are very, very true. This yellow sofa, I loved it. Personally, I absolutely loved it. But you could see where, quality was, shortcuts were taken. The delivery was amazing. The delivery company they used, the two men that came, literally, I had to run after them because I finally found cash in my house to give them a tip. They were so lovely. They came up the stairs panting. I did a video about UK delivery companies and I included them in that video. So check that out if you're interested, because I was so annoyed with Hermes. They just done me over and I did a video just venting. Check it out. But anyway, they came upstairs, bought it. It couldn't fit into the lift. I'm on the second floor, so it's not too bad, but it is a lot of work. They bought it in and they didn't set it up. You did it yourself. And I was fine with that. It was in 2 boxes, so it was in 2 parts. The thing I loved about this sofa were the legs. The legs looked really premium. It was black and a gold rim at the base, and then it was a sofa bed. That's why I got it. I wanted like a a third option in my house for somebody sleeping over, etc. And also I wanted it to be like open sometimes, so it can be a chase. And I wanted it to be that bright as well. Now, the bounce was there, but it was a bounce. It was not like sinking. It was a bounce. So the comfort was okay. The wear and tear was mainly on the folds where you put your hands more, your legs more, so you can see the color wearing off. That's the only sofa I've noticed color becoming a bit, but then again, it was very bright, and it's my most bright sofa I've ever had. So overall, I was happy. I paid £400 for it. So it's a sofa bed. I think that was really good. So I used my money from the eBay sofa to buy that yellow sofa, and then the round Chesterfield was a birthday treat to myself. So it all kind of made sense eventually, and I even had some money left over because it was £400 or 450 thereabouts. I did towards the about almost 2 years later, I had to hammer in nails at the base of the sofa because the black mesh material that usually just covers all the wooden stuff was coming loose. It was coming loose so much that it would scratch me when I was trying to fold the bed up, trying to turn it back into a sofa. So I sold it eventually. I sold it on eBay again, and the people that bought it were participants of the British interior design thing on BBC One. It's airing on BBC. It's airing next year. And they said to me that sofa was going to be in a hotel lobby as a project in Glasgow, and I'm like, this is what I love selling things on eBay. Okay, let's move on. I'm trying my best to not make this video so long. That's why I'm like talking in chips and chops. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm missing out any details that are like interesting to you, comment and let me know, and I'm happy to make a part 2. I just always have to make sure you guys are into it, so let me know. After the yellow sofa and the Chesterfield sofa, I was starting to get bored. I wanted to make my house. I wanted one love seat and an armchair. And I also wanted a cream beige vibe, which is basically where we are right now. This is what you can see here. And this is where I went all out and I bought a love seat for almost 2K. But I will say it's been worth it. It's been amazing, and it's been... Anyway, the sofa is from Sofology. I took my time. I feel bad because I used to preach to my friends saying, don't buy expensive sofas, you don't need to. Listen, don't preach to people, because when you taste the goodness of this land... When you taste nice things, expensive things, yeah, you're going to change your mind. It's just not true. There's a reason why some things are the price that they are. There's just a reason. But of course, where I started, that's what I could afford. And thank God I'm in a better place now. But still, I stand for buy what you can afford. You still get good things. And you can also buy secondhand. Anyway, the last place I purchased things. Oh, I forgot that I bought a footstool from eBay. So that's like a pink puffer, and then it's got storage inside. Again, that is holding up just fine. It's perfect. It's the color. It's like almost my favorite color, but yeah, it's a really perfect. It's got a Chesterfield lid. I love it. Again, from eBay, absolutely nothing wrong. I love it, love it, love it. This just goes to show that on eBay, there's legit people, there's legit shops as well. So don't write off eBay. Also forgot to mention that I did buy a armchair for £45 on Facebook Marketplace, and that became a project. So I literally woke up one morning, decided I wanted to do a DIY project, and I looked for an armchair, and I had the ambition in me to go and buy material and rip off the leather from this armchair and then reupholster it in my house, or reupholster it and, you know, claim it as my DIY project. Basically, I wanted an armchair. I wanted a BOUCLÉ armchair, and I wasn't willing to spend the money for it because like the prices were just not making sense. And so I decided I would do it myself. So we started. And to be fair, the footstool, I covered it. I did that. I did the footstool and it looks good. It's still holding up, yeah. Obviously, we got stuck and I had to find a professional to say hi. I was so embarrassed because literally I had to explain myself because they ask a lot of questions because I guess they don't want to sign themselves up for a project that they can't do. But anyway, finally I found a really nice French guy, local, and I drove and dropped off the chair half like literally open, and then he fixed it and actually he told me to remove everything. He told me to remove everything that I had done because I had just covered it with it was just a mess. Anyway, I got it done professionally eventually. But so that whole project cost me about £350-400 if we're going to count fuel and stuff going to the place. But I still made a savings. That £350 is including the money I had to pay the upholsterer to do the chair. If you know anything about BOUCLÉ chairs, armchairs that swivel and BOUCLÉ, that's usually a custom job, and made.com do sell that sort of stuff. Sofa.com do sell it, but it's so expensive. It's like £900, £1,000. By the time you go into any custom work, it's crazy expensive. Anyway, so I'm really chuffed with that chair because I love it. It's swivel, it reclines, and yeah, it's got all those features, and for under £500. That's a big win. I love that chair. I still have it. The only thing I'm wondering is how I'm going to clean it, because you can see the color has begun to change a little bit. It needs cleaning, so I need to work on that. I'm going to have the same challenge with this cream one as well. I think I want to work out a safe way to clean the material. I'm sure there is, but yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway, on to the last one, which is Sofology. Sofology is the most expensive place I've ever bought a sofa, and honestly, I think it's worth it. Not just because the sofa is great quality, but the care and customer service you get. Literally, the customer service is just so patient and just so. I guess they're gonna be patient because I mean, why not? But it's just. I have no experience in that, so I'm grateful for it. Also, I do have cover on my sofa, so if I damage it, rip it or anything, they will come and fix it. If they can't fix it, they'll give me a new one or the closest thing to this that they have available. I love this so far. So basically the vibe right now is just a love seat, a very large love seat, and an armchair on a round carpet. So this house is very much a bachelor's. It's not very guest friendly, but that's kind of the vibe I'm going for right now. Overall, I would say with Sofology, go in store, sit on the sofa, because they're all quite different and they all have different comfort levels. I wanted something that I absolutely sink in but maintains its structure, because I don't want my house to look untidy. The cushions are feather. The thing about these feather cushions is the feathers poke out. Literally, we find feathers not everywhere, but once a week we find one feather. Like, I don't know if that's normal of feather cushions, so you guys let me know. So they seem to be, because they're quite sharp, they poke through the material and poke through the pillowcase, the cushion casing. So the feathers are just, yeah. Oh, so obviously, if you're a vegan, by the way, that's, yeah, or vegetarian, I don't know. If you care about animals, and I mean, I do. Oh, this is not coming out right. Basically, it has feathers. Okay, the cushions have feathers. I'm sure you will notice that when you're buying sofas, but yeah, putting it out there. The other places that I've had experience with, but not in my house, as my parents' house, is made.com. Made.com, my mum bought a corner sofa on sale. It's still holding up. It's fine. It's not the squishiest. It's very firm, but it's fine. Like, I really like it, and she really likes it too, of course. And what other place? I think that's it. I think that's all the places I've bought sofas from. I've literally just rambled. I really hope this was useful. I was concerned that the sofa wouldn't fit through my corridor, and so I told them I had to leave a note to say, can you bring the sofa not assembled so that it can be put together in the house? But no, it was fine. Like, it's still it could fit. But basically that service is available. So say where you live is quite tight, they can come and assemble the sofa in your house, so it comes in pieces. But what they did make clear to me is the sofa cannot be taken apart after it's been put together. So yeah, if you stayed this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope actually what I have talked about has been useful. If you have any further questions, please put them in the comments. Follow me on Instagram. I'm really active there. So you can kind of just see my, not day to day because I'm not that active. I try to have a life off social media because it can be very addictive. Yeah, like connect with me. It'll be so lovely to hear from you. And any questions that you have of any like additional videos you may want to see, follow-ups, or if you want me to deep dive into a particular company or particular sofa, let me know. Anyway, I'll see you in my next video, which is next week Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time. Stay safe out there.